everyone? This is Roxx. Let's talk. Let's talk about men's boxing, men's bones, betting odds, and men's bare knuckle boxing. First off, I just heard from a reputable news source that UFC and MMA global superstar Conor McGregor just invested in bare knuckle boxing sport. It's called the BKFC, or Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship. So what's the deal with bare knuckle boxing, and why does it matter? How is it separate from mixed martial arts? Men who want to fight bareback, they just want to feel bareback. No gloves or protection are wanted. The risks involved are just heighten their senses. That skin-to-skin bareback is irresistible. It makes their mouths water. It makes their hands shake. They just cannot wait to reach around and strike bareback every day, over and over, if they can. And they can. These bareback fights can go on for an hour or longer, with many, many blows from many men. Fluid will be exchanged. Bareback quite necessarily contains an exchange of fluids. It could be blood or some type of other serum that can be secreted from another man's body. Bare knuckle boxing or bareback boxing will have certain risks. However, any man in a matchup or a man-on-man physical confrontation will be sweaty. It may involve hugging, clinching, or touching for a fast release of endorphins during a bareback knuckle fight. This is too much for me. But many men need bareback knuckles martial arts or fights or bareback boxing match. Most people think that boxing gloves are worn by a fighter for the purpose of protecting the heads of the boxers. But this is not the truth. It could not be more wrong. In sanctioned matches, boxers and mixed martial artists usually wear 10 to 14 ounce gloves. A human head is very solid, and punches with or without gloves could rattle a brain, almost exactly the same. But the human hand has 27 very fine bones. Hand fractures without gloves would easily cause major damage to a hand than a face, and that's why gloves are sanctioned. Why are punches to the back of the head illegal? Rabbit punches, as they're commonly known, are illegal across all major combat sports, including boxing, MMA, and bare knuckle boxing, due to these significant risks they pose to the spinal cord and the brainstem. So is bare knuckle boxing safer than boxing? Strangely enough, the answer is yes. There's data on over 400 fighters who have fought bare knuckle over the last 4 years. All the data compiled tells us that bare knuckle fights have less injuries than boxing and MMA. There are less facial fractures, less head trauma, less major injuries, but get this, more major lacerations. So, when a boxer punches the face of his opponent, it is just as likely to break his knuckles as to break off the other person's jaw. The gloves absorb some of the impact and protect from injury. Fighting without gloves also slows the pace of a match, and therefore reduces long-term injuries to both the head and the hands. Head bones are generally called the cranium, which is comprised of 22 bones, and these are the thickest bones in the body, almost as thick as the femur or thigh bone. So striking a head barehanded is possibly more damaging to a hand than a head, with an increased chance of bleeding and cut. So, for random comparisons, a dog or a human skull, which is stronger? Dog skulls are thicker than human skulls, and they have more robust musculature on their heads, so head trauma is not as common in dogs as in humans. Why is the skull so hard and strong? Our skulls are very hard because they are made of bones. The substance found at the highest levels in bones is something called calcium phosphate that give bones their strength. So, can you crush a man's skull with your bare hands? Oddly enough, no. And female skulls are denser and stronger than a man's skulls. Now, back to Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul. So what are the betting odds between Mike Tyson and Jake Paul? Can Mike Tyson land a punch before he retires? Can Jake Paul outlast Iron Mike? With 30 years age gap between them, there's very little chance that Mike Tyson may take advantage, but if he does take advantage, he will have the advantage. Does Paul, with 6 basic amateur knockouts, have the chance to swerve Tyson on his chin? Probably not. Who has the power to win? Who has the energy? The betting odds are in favor of Jake Paul's youth and energy. But Mike Tyson has pure knockout power that has been proven for decades. This fight is a freak show in general. Mike Tyson was one of the best boxers in the world, but he's almost 60 years old, and he's fighting a man that's half his age and has reach on him. If Jake Paul can reach around and grab Tyson, he may be able to position himself in a compromising position. The ability to perform reach arounds is necessary in any boxing match or any UFC match. Reach around gives great leverage for power to top the other power and make sure that they're the top and not the bottom. Every fight has a driven power top, and every soft bottom is who's ready for pure punishment. Tyson moves well, and on the other hand, Tyson could straight out murder Jake Paul if he doesn't take the fight deadly serious. This is Rexx Roxx. Rexx Roxx out.